All right, here we go. Week 10's in the book. We're going to move on to week 11. Week 11, Thursday Night Fire starter. Man, it's easy. Travion freaking Henderson, man, had his coming out party for sure. He had 62 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns and a receiving touchdown to give 27 points to my squad. OGB Witch Doctor, my win. So that is the Thursday Night Fire starter. The zeros, man, we had 9 of them in week 11. Ricky Pearsall for me had 0. Quentin Johnson for Beating Golf had 0. Johnu Smith for Mayflower had 0. Tez Johnson for K Dog's Kids, 0. Nick Westbrook Akine, 0 for King Rich. Devontae Smith and Luke Musgrave, 0 for Full Mooney. And for the sickos, Khalil Shakir and Los Angeles Chargers defense. Actually, Khalil Shakir had a 0, and LA Chargers defense had a -2, being the biggest 0 of week 11. For our heroes, second week in a row, we had the highest single score at 103 and the highest combined score of 196, as Bijan Robinson had 25 points thanks to over 100 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns. And my boy Travion Henderson, as I already said, 27 points to lead OGB Witch Doctor over Hybrid Maneuver 103 to 93. And then the first of 2-point games this week, Drake London's 11 points led Damas Lamas over Backrows Bag of Tricks 69 to 67. And then this week's Willie Beeman and Christian. This week's Willie Beeman and Christian McCaffrey had 81 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. 2 regular touchdowns. And 4 yards and a touchdown receiving for 30 points. 30 points! Christian McCaffrey, goodness gracious. To lead Beating Golf over the Mayflower 97 to 80. Nico Collins had 15 in the touchdown. Debo Samuels had 13 with the touchdown. To lead Joski over Blutarski 72 to 60. And then Dak Prescott threw for 4 touchdowns for 24 points. And Mr. Swift Travis Kelce had 91 yards and a touchdown for 15 to lead K Dog's Kids over Carlos 72 to 70 in the other 2-point game of the week. And then Sean Tucker, a big 31 points out of nowhere, 106 yards and 2 touchdowns, and 34 yards receiving and a touchdown to lead King Rich over Dr. Modest Toboggan 100 to 81. And then Josh Allen, 44 points. 317 yards passing with 3 touchdowns, and 40 yards rushing with 3 touchdowns. So that's 6 touchdowns. That's insane. Over a half of Full Mooney's points to get him an 80 to 71 win over the Sickos. For week 11, we had. Did I skip week 10? I totally did. I totally skipped week 10. That's okay. We're doing week 11 evidently. And in week 11, we can turn the page here. Like I said, the Willie Beeman. I already mentioned the Willie Beeman. I didn't say who it was, though. It was Mr. Tedro McMillan for Beating Golf. He had 130 yards and 2 touchdowns for 25 points for Beating Golf. Though, again, Sean Tucker gets an honorable mention thanks to his 31. And Jacoby Brissett coming out of nowhere for a second week in a row, 452 yards and 2 touchdowns for 24 points. And also, Bryce Young popped off 448 and 3 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion for 31 points. But it is Tyrone McMillan getting the week 11 Willie Beeman. For our shares, we did have 3 of them, actually. We had 3 shares in week 11. Butarski lost by 12 points, 60 to 72. That's a really big share, man. 12 points. Woo! To Joski, he started Wandell Robinson at 3 points, and Jamar Chase, who also had 3 points, and Malik Washington, who had 4 points. While on the bench, he had Michael Wilson, who had 185 yards for 18 points. If he would have started him over those receivers, he could have won 75 to 72. Carlos lost by 2, 70 to 72 to K Dog's Kids. He started Brees Hall, who had 5 points. While on the bench, he had Devin Singletary, who had 44 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns. If he would have started Devin Singletary over Brees Hall, he would have won 81 to 72. And then back rows Bag of Tricks lost by 2, 67 to 69 to Adamas Lamas. She started Joe Flacco at 10 points, while Justin Fields on the bench had 18 points. She also started Woody Marks, while Kenneth Walker was on the bench, who had 16. She could have won 79 to 69 if she would have started Kenneth Walker. Then our Denny Green, we did have 1 in week 11, which was K-Dog's kids. Won Monday Night Football down 32 points to Carlos, 38-70. But she had Dak Prescott and Trey Tucker going. Dak put up his 24, and Trey Tucker had 47 yards and a touchdown for 10 points to get K-Dog's kids the 72-70 win in week 11. And there you go. We're going to close it off